Welcome to Two Voices. Hi, I'm An.
And I am Alfred.
And today we will be discussing a quote from Consider the Lobster, written by David Foster Wallace, one of his essays.
Yes. So Consider the Lobster is actually a collection of essays.
Which essay are you reading the quote from?
Exactly. So I'm reading it from Authority and American Usage.
So read it slow so
Yes.
people can absorb it, because
Yes.
this is dense stuff.
It is. Okay. Granted, the philosophical descriptivist can question just how absolutely necessary these rules are. It's quite likely that a recipient of clauses like the above could figure out what they mean from the sentences on either side or from the overall context or whatever.
So what was it about this quote that
That was
jazzed you?
That was
it?
context.
Oh, that was context!
That was context. We are getting to it. So basically, that first sentence basically says that, it's important for context to understand what something means.
Okay.
Alright. A listener can usually figure out what I really mean when I must use infer for imply, or say indicate for say to. But many of these solecisms, or even just clunky redundancies like the door was rectangular in shape, require at least a couple extra nanoseconds of cognitive effort, a kind of rapid sift and discard process before the recipient gets it. Extra work. So I was reading that and I'm thinking to myself, well, how much extra work is there to know what a solecism is? Do you know what a solecism is?
No.
Exactly. I don't know what a solecism is.
But I'm assuming it goes back to the word choices, infer versus
yeah, it
whatnot.
does. It does, exactly. In fact, solecism is a word that he uses a lot. He uses it so often, and I have no idea what it means because he never bothers to define it. It turns out a solecism, I just looked it up a second ago, is a misuse of words grammatically. So in other words, to say something ungrammatical. Now he could have just wrote, ungrammatical phrase.
But he's trying to get you to have that cognitive effort.
No,
was it
book
about
grammar that he was reviewing.
It wasn't the quote that got you. It was more like, why did he use the word solecism?
No, it was what got me was that it seemed clearly unaware of the fact that it's requiring you to use that extra few nanoseconds to understand. And you have to use context around it, and that's the whole point. Is what he's saying is that you shouldn't have to do that if you write effectively. And
so even a writer you love, is ineffective, and that's really what this point is.
Well, because you were talking about having writing classes in which you are not necessarily around people who you want to emulate completely, but actually has problems and that you don't want to repeat. And this is an example of one where, I like a lot of things he's doing, and a lot of things he does is because he doesn't listen to other people telling him, you shouldn't use footnotes, for example. And I like those footnotes. So
he's true to his style and his
voice.
He is,
but he's gone too far.
But that's the danger for any writer, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
That you sort of get blinded to your own faults.
Yeah.
That's human nature.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because, what I learned from reading him is that I like to do the same thing he does, where he used footnotes. I remember one of the first letters I wrote to a magazine. I wrote a letter to Discover magazine when I was in junior high, I think it was, and I wrote 7 postscripts to it. It was one. I'm like, just so you know this. And then I'm like, no, but you also need to know this, and then this, and this, and this. And I had 7 of them in the end. I find that things like books and articles, that they spur me to write. And then I feel like somebody's got to read this.
Well, it's just a reaction to...
A reaction to, yeah.
Something that you care about.
Right.
An idea or a concept or...
Yeah.
Just even a word.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Solecism!
No, I really wanted to make a list of all the words, these jargon words that he uses, and tally them. and like actually have like a ratio of like.
But
he actually
maybe
uses
that's what
it-
he expects, that the people who are reading this, that's part of their jargon, solecism. Just like if I came to you and go, hey dude.
No.
Those two, the way I said both, it communicates something different.
Yeah. You know, like.
Where you would think that most people would not know that.
Yeah, which most people would not know. People
But
who
most
read
people
them.
wouldn't know most words unless they read something and went, oh, what the heck is that? And then go looked it up.
Yeah.
And went and looked it up.
So most of his things are in Harper's, some in Rolling Stone, Philadelphia Inquirer. This one.
Well, obviously you're reacting to this so much is probably because you
Atlantic Monthly.
do that and you don't want to do that. So you're seeing something in another writer, you're like, ooh, not liking that in what I do.
I don't use the jargon. What I do is I want to do the footnotes, and I'm realizing that the only way you can get away with this kind of densely packed, you know, going off in tangent things is to pepper in humor. You do that, you can get away with it. So that's the lesson I learned. I've also learned though that like, you know, that you shouldn't go too far, because I think the jargon thing went just too far. Look at this interpolation, okay? The
Are
truth
you
is-
just mad because you didn't know this?
Okay, you tell me how many of these you know, all right?
You're not mad for the readership of Harper's, you're mad because you didn't know this.
I'm mad.
Do you feel like he's smarter than you?
No. Okay, you want to see what I feel like if he didn't use these kind of things, then he would have been more successful. And if he was more successful, then maybe he wouldn't have committed suicide.